recording.
Kyle, I think you were getting ready to say something before we got disconnected.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying that our school just implemented this last week, and there's still some. I'm just interested in how you guys like implement it, how you do the rewards and stuff like that. For what, for what I'm told so far is yes, it's always positive reinforcement. You never take points away, but we're using a point system where they achieve 20 points or whatever, and they get a free day or something like that.
So basically what we do is we have the expectations set at the beginning of the year. So kids know what they're supposed to accomplish in order to receive the goal, which is the RAM time or the free day, like you're saying. So basically we're not taking anything away. Kids just aren't reaching that goal if they're not taking care of the stuff that's been set before them. So we don't do a point system or anything like that. They just know if they receive a referral or a strike system, which is just a minor infraction, or if they turn in, we have a called zeros aren't permitted, where we don't allow kids to turn in nothing. They have to complete something, So anyway, if any of those things happen, then their name gets marked off the list and they know that they've not accomplished their goal for that week.
We have, instead of a PBIS at our school, and my kids have been at schools and I've taught at schools with PBIS, it's called CI3T. It's basically PBIS, but they've contracted through KU to do this program. And our students in sixth grade, the sixth graders have an ETO. They can do, I believe it's once a week. In seventh grade, we don't specifically do something like that. It kind of varies by semester, where depending upon what their grades are, as we get to the end of the semester, then the kids can earn ETO instead of a weekly, semester. But we do have, and at our school, I don't believe the high schools have it because a lot of the kids at the middle schools don't particularly even care that much. But we have, for the elementary and middle schools, we have like a buck system that the kids can earn. And so for doing either good things throughout the building or other, positive behaviors, they can earn. At our school, they're called best bucks because our school is West. So it's West is best. So they call them best bucks. My son's elementary school, they have the similar type things, but they're called Bobcat bucks. And depending upon the school and the teachers, kids can buy either candy or lunch in the classroom or other such, privileges that they can buy with the bucks. So it's supposed to be, they also do raffles so that the kids can have opportunities or earn stuff when they put their tickets in for, a different raffle for, snacks during their advisory. But the way we implement it versus a lot of the things that that I saw on the PBIS videos we're not really doing it the way it's written out in its proper format. We're not doing it fully.
Yeah. The main thing I saw on the PBIS videos were seems like an elementary classroom, where they take the clips and they clip them down from, I'm on task and now I'm not on, all of that kind of stuff. We don't do anything like that, but I think that just goes with how high of a grade level are you teaching in your classroom and what is acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in it. I think it's a good idea, especially for the middle school level to, positive reinforcement works much better at that age, I think. However, we're also putting it in the high school, and I'm dubious to see how that's going to work for high school.
Right.
High school students.
I think ours would work much better if we actually had different things for the students to earn that they were interested in earning.
Well, we had the students actually create polls, not polls, but they suggested things that they would, like sit at the teacher's desk or just a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Right? So they create the rewards.
That's what I try to do for my kind of reward system for my art classes. I have like an art palette, and if they meet the expectations and everything, they get a color for each class period. And if they get to the end of the art palette, then they get like an art party. But I decided, instead of me coming up with the rewards for the art party, that I wanted to see what they wanted, because I felt like then there'd be more incentive and buy-in from the students to actually, try to meet the expectations and earn that reward. And that has helped. I don't think, it doesn't cover everybody, but it helps, because I take a kind of a survey and then I choose from their ideas.
So we move on. All right, so I did, I chose IPS, Individual Plan of Study. Out of all the ones we've talked about, this one interests me quite a bit. So my district is going through remodeling, not remodeling, what's it called? Redesign, I'm sorry, redesign. And this is something that gets brought up quite a bit. I wasn't really sure what it was. At first, I kind of thought it was an IEP, which is different. The IEP is it's a legal document. This is more of a roadmap for post-secondary success for students. The way it works is, for you to implement the individual plan of study effectively, you need 4 things. One is a career interest inventory. 2 is a multi-year course planning tool. 3 is a post-secondary plan. And 4 is a digital portfolio. Now, the career interest inventory works with essentially asking students, is usually done at a middle school level, what their interests are. So it allows them to kind of, in the frameworks of education, write down the things that they're interested in, and maybe possible career goals that they might have. It also evaluates strengths and different tools used to do that. And that's just kind of an intro to what kind of pathway, what kind of course they would take in their education. As they get to high school, they'll go into the multi-year course planning tool. Now, this can be set up in different ways, and it's always utilized by a counselor, advisor. Depending how that school chooses to implement that, they could have third-party people come in to set this up, or the teachers and the administration can get together and do that. And what that is essentially is just a tool of the classes that you need to take to get to where you want to go. So, for example, if you decide to take the health field pathway, you have choices of different classes that you can take that fulfill that. So this works in, it allows you to realize the skills that you're required for that profession as you go through it. So you'd be investigating that career a little bit to realize what is needed and what you need to do. The coursework works in that for you to, once that you get, the school gets this up and running effectively, there's 3 levels. There's the introductory level, the technical level, and the application level. Introductory level would be you are a course, maybe that's a freshman level course where you're introduced to that career. And then as you work up to application level, maybe your senior year, you could have an internship or something like that. The whole idea is for you to just uniquely design a pathway or a plan of education for you. And then part of that, as you're going through that coursework, you have a post-secondary plan. Now, this could include one-on-one work with your advisor, 4-year versus a 2-year school, technical school, military interest. It also allows you to realize and seek out resources, scholarships, financial aid, loans, and stuff like that that students don't consider on their own in a lot of occasions. This all culminates in them forming a digital portfolio of their specific plan of study and the work that they've done. Now, I've gone through a lot of information on this, and it's pretty, I don't know, it's kind of abstract because it allows schools to kind of dictate how they're going to implement that as long as they hit those standards. And I think that's based on different resources for different schools and what they can provide. But what's really important about this is the fact that the stakeholders include the parents, teachers, administrators, and counselors. So the parents need to be contacted at least twice a year, and that was in the written language of it as well. Do you guys have any experience with the IPS?
Our high school is basically set up like that. So all the freshmen are in one academy. It's called the Freshman Academy, and then there's 4 academies in the school. So there's the Health and Trade Academy. So it's like all health professions and trades. And then there's Public Service Academy, which would cover all the public service professions. And then there's Arts and Communications. Now, obviously, they have a lot of classes together, but that's like their home base in their path through high school. And there's several different certificates and certifications they can get in our high school, like CNA, welding, EMS. I mean, there's a bunch of different things they can go through while they're exploring that path. And I think it works out pretty well. The only downfall is the health. They put health and trade together, and obviously those are like the two, trades. Specialties and trades are like the most popular out of most high school. I mean, we have a high school of 2,100 students, so like the welding, the agriculture, and all that's in our community is the most popular, and then health is also the second most popular, and it's one academy. I mean, that's the only downfall that I've seen from it so far. But it has like taken away that competition for GPA because it's not just a race to the top, I guess. Everybody's choosing their own path. I think it's worked out really well.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes. I'd say we're in the introductory level right now, but I mean, we're trying to, what's interesting, or I don't know if it's going to work, honestly, is at a school with only 100 students in high school doing this, it's kind of difficult to schedule that kind of diversity.
Yeah, I think it would be hard with 100 students.
Yeah.
I mean, 2,100, you have enough students for every single category.
Right.
One of the districts that I came from back south, we actually had where kids could apply to different magnet type schools for the middle school and high schools. And it was almost that type of a track for some of the schools. It got to be too much whenever you're like, potentially career tracking middle schoolers. But especially if you have a lot of more of the trade tracks that kids can go into at the high school, it seems like it would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, our school works with the community college too. So they have several options to, they could get associate's degree almost right out of high school.
That's
in
great.
the field of choice.
Now, what district are you in?
Garden City.
Okay.
The high school that I came from, towards the end, was starting to implement some of those, but not to the level where they had academies, for different sections. They mainly focused on kind of the health careers and trades, and those were pretty popular in my community as well. I feel like, for example, I would have really benefited from having, been a part of an art community and like having more contacts with that and more opportunities with that, and maybe, a more individualized plan of study. But we didn't have that opportunity. I think that that's a really great idea for high schoolers. In my elementary school, of course, we don't really do anything with that. So I can't speak for the school that I'm at, or even the feeder schools like in Wichita that they would be going to. I don't think that they have any of that. They might have a little bit like at my school, but I'll have to look into that.
Well, unless anybody has any more conversation, I think we've kind of hit on everything.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Good to go. I'll probably upload these both to a YouTube and then just send you the link. I don't know how it'll work. I'll email her tonight though, and I'll get it sorted out. So we should be
Okay.
all right.